Are you a fan of thriller movies? Do movies with suspense fascinate you? However, no matter how many times you watch these movies, there are some fragments of the movie that you completely miss. And today we're going to discuss with you 15 things you might have missed in a movie of this category. So let's get started. Number 15. Is Santa Claus a hero in action or a villain in disguise? The Violent Night has dared to show us an image of Santa that is unconventional and may make us wonder about his intentions. His character has too many stars of grey, so it's difficult to understand that whether he's a hero or a villain. Well, as per our opinion, he's a hero in action. This idea itself is so amusing and refreshing that this makes us wonder why none of the movies before Violent showed Santa in this form. This role has been played by David Harbour. He does the role of a man who wears a large red suit and has essayed his role to perfection. He is a little bit cynical. As we already mentioned, he also likes to have drinks in his free time. A drunk Santa indeed. His heroic part is specified by the fact that he saves the family from theft. And not an ordinary theft, a millions of dollars theft. So indeed, he's a hero in action. Number 14. The Santa Wants Blood. Seems creepy, but the movie is so confusing that it will let you believe that Santa is a bloodthirsty beast, but it's not true, as Santa will be seen as prominent hero helping a family when they need him the most. Number 13. This movie is filled with comedy. Although this movie might give a feel of horror and drama, but there are too many scenes of comedy, especially with the family whom Santa saves or tries to save. Like every other family, this family too wants to celebrate Christmas. But the anticipation of the family is much higher than usual. There is a little girl in this family, and it seems to appear that she has a special bond with Santa. That is where the comedy and the light-hearted scenes find their place in the movie. Although there are many sinister elements, but including merry elements was a must. After all, merry means Christmas. Number 12. Highlighting the sinister aspects of Christmas. This movie shows that even on Christmas, sins are on prowl, and no one gets people of their sinister personalities, not even the Christmas. Number 11. The Punishments of Santa. As per our popular opinion, Santa is a person who loves all, brings good gifts to each one, and has no distinction of good and bad. But in this movie, these beliefs are completely rattled, as here Santa has a list. Yes, a list of people who are on his bad list. And this old Santa has a set of punishments for each one on the list, cold and grave punishments. Number 10. The Savior. The film shows how a normal elite family is busy with their mundane preparations as Christmas is around the corner. But to their utter disappointment, there are a set of criminals who are looting people of their wealth. And by the time they reach this family, boom, there is someone awaiting their service, and he's no other than Santa himself. Number 9. Producers are special. This film arrives to us from 87 North Productions, the company that brought us movies like Nobody and Bullet Train. Luckily, this movie gives numerous of the similar fun qualities, with violent action that will make you say, ho ho holy hell! Number 8. This movie is a combination of Die Hard and Home Alone. This movie is like an action movie we waited to see in holidays, but with a twist. The sole person who can kill bad guys on Christmas Eve as effectively as John is Christmas Santa himself. This movie is a fierce mixture of Die Hard and Home Alone, detailed with John Leguizamo, who some may remember from his brief role as a terrorist in Die Hard. Number 7. Violent Night is actually violent at each step. Violent Night gives us a bloody massacre at every turn, so we can conclude that this movie is not for you if you have a faint heart. But for the action movie junkie and those with the stomach for a heap of blood and guts, this is the perfect cinematic experience. What sets this movie distant from the rest of the litigation genre is not the merry protagonist, but the brutality and the creativity through which killings are done. Number 6. The amazing performance of Santa that leaves you confused till end. Harbour's achievement is sublime. He's silly, endangering, and loads the soul in his fight scenes. The essence and importance of this movie is Santa's connection with a kid named Trudy, Leah Brady, and their scenes offer a lot of cute fun. The rest of the personalities are joyful as well, particularly Cam Gianday as Morgan Steele, a wannabe action hero. Leguizamo's villainous Mr. Scrooge has a backstory to make him more interesting, but when juxtaposed with the iconic Santa Claus, he ends up forgettable as a result. Number 5. Delusional Santa. The concept of a disillusioned Santa Claus saving a helpless family from home invaders sounds like an idea that belongs firmly on the nice list. Yet in Violent Night, the movie struggles to make the most out of a promising premise. The film begins with an alcoholic Santa, played by a committed David Harbour, lamenting the over-commercialization of Christmas. Nonentity ever wants a heartfelt gift anymore. Number 4. Action seems more like compulsion. Even the fight scenes feel a bit reined in, pun intended. The action gets going when a new team of combatants arrives, but unfortunately, the film then winds down. There are a handful of creative kills, including one with a Christmas tree star early on, but the film rarely builds momentum off this. David Leitch produces the film, and so I hoped for something like his recent Bullet Train with just non-stop action and chaos. Instead, Violent Night has surprisingly long stretches with nothing, well, violent. Number 4. The gist and emotions of Santa. It's Christmas Eve and Santa's crooked. He bemoans how children just want wealth and video games anymore. He's been doing this too long, his heart's not in it. Is he a Salvation Army corner Santa, or a mall Santa, or a hired-for-party Santa? The bartender follows his drunk ass up to the roof and is shocked to see him on the sleigh with the reindeer and all that. And she looks up just in time for him to thunder-chunder his guts out all over her. He flies all over the world, eating cookies, stealing liquor, pulling gifts from his magic sack, shooting beers, side of his nosing up chimneys with a stardust twinkle, pissing off the side of the sleigh. He's the real deal, he's magic, but he's also human. Number 3. The perfect mix of two things. It's an excellent mix of two genres. First and foremost, it's a very violent man in a tight spot action movie, but hidden beneath is a traditional Christmas story of people becoming believers and a jaded main character getting their festive mojo back. The film's success is largely down to David Harbour's fantastic turn as a disillusioned Saint Nick. His ability to project charisma even when appearing tired and fed up carries the day, or in this case, night. He also cleverly avoids the trap of playing Santa too dark. For all his boozing and necessary killing, he is still recognizably Father Christmas. The rest of the cast are all decent as well, with John Leguizamo making a fun villain. Even the child character manages not to be annoying, although some of her dialogue hints that they had originally wanted a younger actress than Leah Brady. The other big plus Violent Night has is its, violence. The set pieces go above and beyond, with villains being impaled, burned, and dismembered. Highlights include a Home Alone-inspired sequence. Turns out the invaders in this film are a lot less durable than Harry and Marv. And a Mortal Kombat-worthy finish to the final showdown. There's also a decent vein of comedy, even if you won't exactly be guffawing in the aisles. There are a couple of things that take you out of proceedings, like the bad guy's refusal to just shoot their guns and some very generic family interactions. But overall, Violent Night is a very fun couple of hours. Number 2. The movie that shows evil and good in one. It is always nearly as entertaining as it could be, but it definitely capitalizes on its goofy premise in all the right ways at various points. The violence is blunt and rudimentary, but there's something strikingly effective about it. Each hit is loud and visceral, and many of the actual deaths are a lot more creative than I was expecting them to be, even if the violence leads me up to each death is pretty by the numbers. Number 1. Will give you a medieval Christmas movie vibe. As far as Christmas movies go, is this better than Die Hard? Of course not. However, it's no doubt a Christmas movie. David Harbour plays a Santa Claus who lost his Christmas spirit and gets it back by going total medieval on a gang of kidnappers looking to take a small fortune from the type of rich folks you hate the most over the holiday season.